since you have gone away. Still it seems to me I see your shadows in the rain. Memories from the past show the love within your face. But it's not enough for me and could never take your place. By never understood why, how it came to be that you're not here with me. I remember all the times you helped me when I was down, and when I was sad and lonely, you'd always come around. Now on these rainy days I can't get you off my mind. No matter where I look, your shadows all I find. Comes the dawn, time passing me by, never understood why, how it came to be that you're not here with me. Into shadows in our moments, men shall stand far alone. Destructions of life, we have not far to go. Wanted nightmares stirs the minds, a sorrow men that keep no pride. Sadness and fear, is that all we know? Shadows, shadows, the winds of fire blow the world into mad desire. Shadows, shadows, the winds of fright help us make it through the night. cloudy skies wish to invite that we may see clearer skies we hope for now, unless the end arrives. Picture horizons in the glowing gleam, existence to fall we hope to not foresee. Shadows, shadows, the wind, the fire, blow the world into mad desire. Shadows, shadows, the winds of fright, help us make it through the night.
And that was Diamond Edge. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cosmic Connection, your UFO connection for the Pacific Northwest on the CAN network, Channel 11, or other channels in your prospective programming area. This is the Cosmic Connection. I am the Cosmic Connector. Welcome. That was Diamond Edge, a local Portland rock band. They've elected to let me use some of their music. That was Shadows in the Rain and Winds of Fire off of their Head Above Water CD from Diamond Edge. And the gentlemen from that band are Larry vocals, Dave guitar, Rob guitar, Matt Man drums, and Trevor bass. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Okay, Dennis, how you doing, my friend?
Great. Holy smokes, what was that we were watching there?
That was the Sam's Town video, ladies and gentlemen, taken out of Las Vegas, Nevada in 1990.
As if I didn't know.
We hope you enjoyed today's the Super Bowl Sunday. We've got pretty good show for you lined up today. We're going to be discussing and showing you some videos dealing with Area 51, the famous Bob Lazar place, S4, Area 51 out there in the Nevada desert. Dennis, what are we going to show the folks today on some videos?
Well, if we're ready to get started, why don't we cue up that first videotape and give them a little tour of Las Vegas?
All right, that would be the half-inch VHS tape showing, I believe, a trip down Las Vegas Boulevard, dealing with some of the signs and some of the graphics that they put up on the board.
Yeah.
Dealing with...
Now, didn't you get started in Las Vegas?
Yes, I did. I was fortunate enough to start a radio engineering career with Billy Goodman of the Billy Goodman Happening and the Billy Goodman Thing. 2 years, 7 nights a week, 6 to 7 nights a week, 4 hours a night. Sometimes we do 4 or 5 hours, 3 hours. We had interesting guests such as Bob Lazar broke his story of the UFO happenings.
As a matter of fact, wasn't your program the first program to break the Bob Lazar story?
Billy Goodman's, that's Bob Lazar right there. Billy Goodman did break the Bob Lazar story, dealing with the 9 craft that he allegedly back-engineered out at Area 51. We will be showing that video hopefully shortly.
Yeah, let's get that videotape rolling.
All right, and I believe that's in the top deck there, gentlemen. Dealing with Bob Lazar, yes, we did work at, Billy Goodman did break that story, dealing with the 9, supposedly, ladies and gentlemen, 9 UFOs, alien craft housed at the Area 51 S4 facilities. The United States government supposedly back-engineering craft gotten from supposedly aliens. Dealing, maybe these are crash saucers. Bob Lazar stated there were 9 craft, one he called the sport model, of a model made by the Testers Corporation that we have here on the front of our desk here of the sport model.
Well, there's Bob Lazar's car with the MJ-12 license plates parked in front of the little alien right there.
That does say MJ-12.
It sure does.
Wow. And that's his car.
That's his car.
He has some guts there.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be able to interview him for about 2 hours and ask him anything I felt like. It was a unique and interesting experience.
Sure. Okay, there were 9 craft. He called one the sport model that you see on the front of our desk here by the Testers Corporation. The other, he called the jelly mold, the top hat, several others, and these were just nicknames that he made up for the craft. Our telephone number is 667-7434. If you'd like to call and get in on some discussion with the UFO activities, dealing with the UFOs, have you seen anything in the Portland area? I understand Portland is a hotbed for flaps of UFOs. A lot of people have seen some strange happenings out here in the Portland area. We'd like to also thank Roberto Aguilera out at the La Costa Mexican restaurant for supplying us with the food to feed our crews, our volunteer crews here. Also, do we have a phone call?
Yes,
hello, do we have a phone call? At 667-7434. And if you'd like to write to the Cosmic Connection, that's Post Office Box 86186, Portland, Oregon 97286. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope. And do we have a phone call, please?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Yolanda. I have a couple questions.
Hello, Yolanda. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. I really enjoy your show, and
Thank
I
you.
wanted to let you know that ever since I was really young, I've always felt that I've been involved, or I've always believed, that there's other people out there.
Sure.
And I've had vivid dreams ever since I was a little child. And first of all, I wanted to know if I grew up out in Estacada, and a friend of mine told me that he heard a rumor that out off of Goat Mountain, this mountain near Estacada, that the government actually is involved in some secret business with the UFOs. And I've heard like 3 different people have mentioned this to me. And I was wondering if you know of anybody else that has heard of that. And then also, now I live off of Division here in Southeast Portland. And I just had a dream last week where it was a dream, so I don't know if it was just a dream, but I saw a submarine-shaped spaceship. and in my neighborhood. And
Really?
it was really a vivid dream. I mean, I was outside, and these RoboCops came around, type people, and told us, you know, you don't remember this, you don't remember this.
No kidding.
I was wondering, do you know anything specifically about the differences between, let's say, the submarine-shaped ships compared to, like, I've also had lots of dreams where I've seen the, it's almost a boomerang-shaped ship, and it's got lights that, you know, go in a circle. And if you know anything about the differences between the two ships, or if you've heard anything of that part.
Well, let's address your first question first. Goat Mountain, you say you have a friend out in Estacada.
I grew up out there, and I've always, I mean, I have a lot of friends that have seen UFOs in that area.
If you've seen this program before, people have called in. I have an investigator who has looked into the Goat Mountain situation. We've had callers who call in after the program, and we invite everybody to call in after the program to discuss sightings that they've had at 667-7434. We take calls after the program. Dealing with Goat Mountain, yes. We understand that there is some activity that has been seen out there. Very interesting as far as my personal viewing of this. I have not been out there. I look forward to going out there sometime, and maybe we could have a group meet at a specific location to sit and watch, because in the Las Vegas area with the Billy Goodman happening, we had field trips, quote unquote, out to Blue Diamond, to the Vortex area and the Area 51. This was back in 89, 90. We've had 300 people show up at these gatherings where it's been very informative. We've had speakers such as Bill Hamilton speak. People who have been guests on the Billy Goodman show speak. Now, let's address your second question. The difference between, you're saying you're seeing these particular ships in dreams, or you've seen them in your neighborhood?
Well, I'm asleep when I see them. I mean, I have very vivid dreams.
Sure.
And I had a dream where I was outside looking up, and I saw this submarine-shaped ship that was just huge. And as I watched it, it transformed like a transformer into like the round-shaped UFO.
Wow.
It was really intense. And then there was all these people in the neighborhood. It was very vivid. And these RoboCop-type people came walking down Division, and they came right at me, and they pointed this ray-type gun, and they said, you know, you will not remember this. You will wake up without remembering this. And the whole time I'm just laughing at them, thinking, you know, I remember my dreams. You don't have to tell me that.
But we're talking about a dream here, and I
Yeah.
really can't interpret that. I can't tell you in reality. The ships are just as different as modern-made automobiles. The ships, the triangular-shaped craft. Art Bell, a noted radio talk show host that you can hear on 1190 at night, here on 1190 AM, dealing with the Dreamland programs. I understand he's going to have a gentleman on in 2 weeks on his Friday night, Saturday morning program, Friday night 11 p.m. We'll have a gentleman dealing with the UFO phenomenon. Tonight, after this program, I don't know if there is a Blazers game on or not, but Dreamland would be on tonight if there's not a basketball game on, and he has very interesting guests dealing with the UFO phenomenon. Dealing with your triangle-shaped craft. Triangle-shaped craft was brought up by the lady who wrote the book, not Clear Intent, Ellen Crystal. She wrote the book
Silent Invasion.
Silent Invasion, dealing with triangle craft out in the Hudson Valley. Michael Lindemann, who's been a guest on the show, who wrote this book on our desk here, 6 Points of a UFO Investigator, Alien Presence, said that he saw a triangle-shaped craft in the Mojave Desert near Edwards Air Force Base. So these are different shaped craft. Right there on your screen was a picture of the sport model, of which Bob Lazar says he personally saw lift up off the ground, in which Dennis and I have seen out at Area 51. Not up close, but we understand that these are the craft emanating lights out at Area 51. We have
As a matter of fact, we'll be rolling tape of that in a little bit here on the show.
Very good. Director, camera people, are we ready with that videotape? Okay, can we go ahead and roll that videotape, please?
I hope that answered your question about the difference.
Yolanda?
Yes, thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
Well, please call after the program.
Okay.
Please write us a self-addressed stamped envelope, since they went up a little bit. And if you send us a self-addressed stamped envelope with stating what particular information that you would like to be interested in, we will send you information in the written form pertaining to this. And we also have videotapes UFO 101 and UFO 102. Go ahead. Dennis? Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, hon. Go ahead.
Well, I bet this view looks awfully familiar to you.
Yes, it is. That's Fremont Street, going towards Union Plaza, where the Art Bell program used to emanate from the second story of the Union Plaza there.
This is your old stomping grounds.
It sure is. Now, Dennis, what are we looking at here? Why was this videotaped?
Well,
I mean, what were you doing in Las Vegas at the time?
Well, I'd prefer not to say. That might
Sure.
might give me away.
All right.
But the real purpose of my trip was to take a trip out to the edge of Area S4 and get a look at the flying saucers if I could. My first night, I drove in before dark and sat there all night and saw nothing.
Right.
Second night, I waited a couple hours till after dark and blew in there at about 130 miles an hour.
Into Area 51?
Right.
On Highway 375?
Right.
Okay.
And managed to catch them in the middle of a test.
Now, what night was this?
This was a
Do you recall?
Wednesday night.
Yeah,
right.
This was the night that Bob Lazar would state.
Right. And shortly after pulling in, a security vehicle drove by me, and I got that on tape. But even in Las Vegas, there's signs of UFOs here and there, as we'll see in a moment.
Sure. All right. Now,
but this is where you got your start in this town and got on the Billy Goodman Happening, and we're the first program ever to break the Bob Lazar story.
Yeah, some people would argue against that, and that's.
Oh,
yes,
yeah?
Yes. Billy Goodman, I do give him credit. He is the one that went extensively into the Bob Lazar history, dealing with Bob Lazar's activity out at Area S4.
Okay.
All right.
Well, there we go.
Okay. Now, we have a sign here. This is the Hotel Continental.
The Hotel Continental,
right.
Yeah. And they've apparently got a few interesting attractions at this hotel, and so I had to go in and take a look for myself.
Sure. And ladies and gentlemen, when you are out in Las Vegas, and everybody goes to Las Vegas one time sooner or later, I understand that they have a new attraction. Bingo.
Now, bingo, yes. It's a very hot attraction.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And there we go.
And
well, wait a minute.
They cut that out?
Come back. Oh, too late now.
Okay. So, all right. Now, if we could rewind that tape all the way, we'll start that at the beginning, and you let me know. I understand we have a caller on line 6. We'll take that call. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection.
Howdy. How you doing, Cosmo?
Hello.
This is Dave from Diamond Edge.
Dave, hello, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
Wanted to call up and thank you for putting us on earlier.
We thank you very much. You play guitar for the band Diamond Edge, correct?
Yes, sir.
Diamond Edge will be playing February 10th and 11th at the Moosehead. Is that correct?
That is, sir.
All right, and there are 5 members in that band. I want to thank you very much for that CD. I understand we had never met before. I was there listening to your band for the very first time. I enjoyed several songs that you played live. The entire set was fantastic, and I want to thank you for giving me permission to play Shadows in the Rain, and I particularly like Winds of Fire, that acoustic and organ accompaniment there. Very good.
Well, we thank you. We got a new tape coming out this week. We were wondering if there's a way we can get it out to you and get you a copy of it.
Absolutely, I would enjoy that. And I think what's very important is another band, Diamond Edge. I believe you folks have played with Bad Karma. Excuse me, Bad Karma, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be giving away a Bad Karma Transient Madness cassette tape later on in the show, and I think it would be outstanding for the band and for the people out there if we could give maybe 1 or 2 of your CDs or cassettes away to our viewers to the Cosmic Connection.
Well, you can arrange that.
Very good. And Dave, I want to thank you very much. Have you ever had a sighting here in Portland or anywhere?
I haven't, no.
Have you ever met anybody who has?
No, I haven't, to tell you the truth. I've met some people that claim to be psychics, but
sure.
no sightings of UFOs or anything.
Very good. Well, I want to thank very much, Dave, for the Diamond Edge introduction there. We played that over the Sam's Town videotape. That is the very first time that I believe the Sam's Town videotape has been shown in its entirety, and I thought it was a very classy way of presenting that to the people here in Portland. And we thank you very much, Dave.
We thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That's guitar player Dave from Diamond Edge, and they will be playing February 10th and 11th at the Moosehead. Steve Johns of the Moosehead out there at 60th and Gleason. Are we ready for that other video? I'd like to show that Area 51 video, if we might. May I get a nod of heads of some sort? Hello? All right. All right, Dennis, let's explain what we're going to see here, and if we can see this on full screen.
Okay, this is going to be a collection of various videotapes taken at Area 51 by myself, by
Boy, this
friends.
looks like Mailbox Road.
This is Mailbox Road, and this is in the early days when there was only one warning sign. As you'll see later on, there are multiple warning signs there now that authorize the use of deadly force, prohibit photography of anything in the area.
Okay, since I really like to be specific, this is not Mailbox Road because there's a mountain there. This is this the mountain? Is this the road to Whitesides?
No, this is the road, the Mailbox Road.
This is down the road.
This is down the road.
I've never been
as far as you want to go. If you go beyond this, you will run into a little guard shack, and they will slap the handcuffs immediately on you.
So if you turn the camera around, which obviously we can't, but if you turn this camera around and look down the road from the opposite direction, 180 degrees, down that road about 4 or 5 miles is the mailbox, correct?
That is correct.
I understand. Okay, because I know a lot of our viewers out there have been to Mailbox Road, and I know they would say that this sign was not there at the time, and it was not. It is down the road. Okay. Now, this is the road.
Now the tape continues. Let's go back to that.
Okay. All right. The tape does continue. Oh,
okay.
Excellent.
Here is morning footage. As you see, the gentleman is showing us morning footage with the Groom Mountains, which is a first. Most people have gotten it in the middle of the night when you can't see any background, and it could be sparklers in your backyard as far as anybody knows.
This is morning.
This is morning.
This is great.
And we have the craft that defies the laws of physics and gravity and jumps around. And if we leave this film on, it continues for another 3 or 4 minutes here, we will see a collection of all the videotape taken at that area.
This too?
This too. This is taken in the middle of the night by Bob Lazar.
George Knapp,
there.
Television anchor person from Las Vegas.
Okay, this is actually footage that I took at Area 51 while I was there.
Now, sometimes we get the counters wrong. Is this the correct date and time here?
No, it's off on this camera. This is actually November of '92.
Okay.
And I borrowed the camera from a friend.
Sure.
I didn't want to try and reprogram it for him. And
now, this is what I've seen and what you've seen and 300 or 400 other people.
If anybody's videotaping this at home, if you run this in slow motion and go frame by frame, you will see that craft is strobing at a very high rate of speed, and you'll see it come on and off. That's why it appears to be glittering. And in the middle of while I was videotaping this, security guard came by, and they set off flares on the mountaintop, and all the crafts went dim. And I decided to take off and dash down the road a little bit. They turned their lights back on and proceeded to fly out of the area. And we'll see that coming up here in just a second.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to call, it's 667-7434 for the Cosmic Connection. We are live. Super Bowl Sunday, January 29th, 1995. Does anybody know the score? And we are waiting. Okay.
If we can continue that tape,
Please.
We're about to, if we can go back to that tape, you can see the glittering motion, and that's the strobing effect that I was talking about.
Right there, yeah.
That is the last craft that was trying to make its getaway out of the area and was having trouble with its engines and having a hard time getting off the ground. And as you can see, it's revving up as high as it can trying to get off the ground.
Now, Dennis, how do you know this?
Well, because I was watching it with my naked eye, and you can see a lot more. There are stars in the night sky there, which are not showing up on the video, but they're perfectly visible to the naked eye. So this craft to the naked eye is a lot brighter than it's showing up here on the videotape.
Now, you say the engines, the propulsion devices.
Okay, there's a security guard that drove by me.
This is the. This was yellow fruit at the time?
Yeah.
Okay, and then yellow fruit was transformed over to?
Delta Forces and Wackenhut.
Okay.
And as you saw, his lights just blinked out. He just shut them off.
Yeah.
And that's when the flares went off on the mountainside, and I decided to take off down the road. Somebody was tailing me, so when I got to a dip in the road, I pulled a U-turn on him and went back to the mailbox and filmed the final sequence of the craft disappearing out of there.
Excellent. Now dealing with this, we're talking, you were out there by yourself.
Okay, that's
Not a wise thing to do.
Yeah, I was by myself, and I thought that I'd gotten away clean, but as I was leaving the area, within about 5 minutes, out of nowhere, a huge white light enveloped my vehicle. I looked up, and here was a big helicopter above me, and they stayed on me for about 2 or 3 minutes, long enough to get my license plate, I'm sure.
Sure.
And then shut the light off and took off, and I never did see any lights on the helicopter. They were flying totally dark.
Right.
Fortunately, the car was rented in somebody else's name, so that's how I made it out.
Do we have any callers? Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, great. Your name, please.
This is Brian from Portland.
Bryce?
Brian.
Brian, hello, Brian.
Hi, how are you? I want to say I really enjoy your show.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm
What's
watching
the
it since-
score?
What's that?
What was the score?
I don't know. I haven't been watching it. Been watching
Right.
you.
All right, go ahead, Brian.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know that I confirmed with KEX that they are going to be showing Dreamland tonight at 7.
They will be airing Dreamland on the AM radio.
Right, 1190 KEX.
Excellent. At 11 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock,
So in
yeah.
about,
No ball game tonight.
right, wonderful. 27 minutes from now.
Yeah.
And do you recall who the guest is?
No, I don't.
He doesn't advertise that much, does he?
No, I never hear an advertisement.
Yeah. And your familiarity with the subject, you've watched our program. You've seen. Have you ever seen some of the guests that we've had on our program?
Oh yeah, try and watch it every time.
Thank you very much. That's great. Did you happen to see the Michael Lindemann, Peter Davenport show? And could you give us some feedback on that?
No, I missed that one. I was out of town for that one.
Because Michael Lindemann has appeared on Art Bell's Dreamland, and I thought he was an excellent speaker and an excellent guest on this program.
Yeah.
And if you'd like copies of past Cosmic Connection shows that have been missed, we've had Schmidt and Randall, Linda Moulton Howell, Michael Lindemann, and Peter Davenport from the UFO National Research Center, National Hotline out of Seattle, Washington. You can call us after the program or write to us to our post office box and receive some of those.
Okay.
And anything else, Brian?
No, that was it. I just wanted to let everybody know that it's going to be on tonight. And...
I sure do appreciate that. I want to thank you very much for helping us with that.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much, Brian. Okay, one of my cameramen here would like me to show this. Ladies and gentlemen, Glimpses of Other Realities, a book written by Linda Moulton Howell, a very, very beautiful book, 300 color photographs dealing with cattle mutilations, the alien phenomenon, the crop circles. The crop circles is probably one of the most in-depth studies dealing with the crop circles that I have seen, dealing with different the swirls and some of the information that has been gleaned from the crop circles. Very interesting. Here we have some very graphic pictures of cattle mutilations. We have a picture in here. If I can change here. Dennis, any comments on Glimpses of Other Realities?
Linda did her homework as usual. It's backed up by documentation, expert opinion.
Okay, hello, welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Another phone call, please.
Yeah. Hi,
Hello.
my name's Nisi.
Hello?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was just curious.
Your name, please?
My name's Nisi.
Hi, Nisi.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. Dennis and I welcome you. Hi.
Okay. I was just curious. I was flipping through the channels, and I happened to turn while you were showing that video footage.
Yes.
And I was curious how you were so sure that it was an actual UFO.
Okay, very, very good question. All right, Dennis and I have both been to this area. We're talking, when you see these craft come up from behind the emanation point, first of all, how do we know it was there? Bob Lazar stated on the Billy Goodman Happening radio program that this was happening out there. He says if you went out there on a Wednesday night between dusk and dawn, you would see lights come up from an emanation point from behind this mountain peak and do all kinds of aerobatic maneuvers in the sky that conventional aircraft, helicopters, what have you, airplanes cannot do. I have seen this. Dennis has seen this. Dennis went out there, saw stuff that you have not seen on this videotape. Trust Dennis, go ahead.
Well, sure. These craft perform 90-degree turns at the speed of light. They do these stair-step maneuvers, and even if they're remote controlled, there's no known technology that can break the laws of physics and gravity, and we've personally seen this. And anybody that wanted proof for themselves could take a little drive down there and see for themselves, and possibly still can. So if you're not convinced and you'd like to be, put some gas in the car and take a little trip down to Nevada.
Sure. Nisi, anything else?
Yeah, I was just curious. Do you guys have like degrees or something that you know would like make people more convinced that you know what you're talking about instead of blowing smoke up everybody's butt?
There is no degree for ufology. Dr. Stanton Freeman is a physicist. What's Stanton Freeman's background?
He's a nuclear physicist. Sure, and as a matter of fact, I do have a degree, but I'm not at liberty to say what it's in or what my current position is.
Sure.
Well, the only reason that I asked is because, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to convince people that it's not just a light over a hill. You know, I mean, you can talk and talk and talk, but it's going to be really hard to convince somebody if you don't have some proof. I mean, other than just the light of a VCR camera or whatever.
I understand.
Well, sure, but that's the best we can do, rather than other than bringing a saucer into the studio here. And it's to point the direction to you that if you would like to be convinced and take the effort to investigate it, you could see it for yourself. And it's not our job to convince people. That's why we point out information on the show. What are good books to read, what is good information to check into, and what is bunk information. And I have yet to hear back from anybody that's read the book on Roswell to come back and say that they're unconvinced. 100% of everybody that's looked at it tells me they're convinced. So
or
if anybody's not,
of the people that you know.
Go ahead.
I said, or just 100% of the people that you know.
No, people I've run into through the program, hear the Cosmic Connection, live, etc. I have yet to hear a caller call in. If there's any caller out there that is familiar with the Roswell information that's not convinced, we'd love to hear from them. But
well, the only reason that everybody's going to be so positive is because they're going to butt kiss because they're on television.
Well, we don't have to get that graphic, sweetheart.
I'm not
we've had skeptics just as like yourself, and with that, we're going to take another call. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Hello. Hello.
Well, it was like I was saying. It's all a matter of education.
Sure.
And if
she had a wild hair, okay, you know.
Oh, sure, but that's fine.
Yeah,
but
no, I got no problem with that. I got no problem. If you want to speak eloquently, that's fine.
Sure,
this is a family program.
Unless you've read the information,
yeah,
you can't very well make an educated opinion on the subject.
Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Hello.
Hi, I had a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Where exactly in Arizona is Area 54?
Okay, and your name?
David.
Hi, David. It is in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
When you go to Las Vegas, Nevada, you would take I-5 north to the Glendale turnoff.
Yep.
Take a left on, that's 92.
Yep.
Take a left on 92. Take 92 out just before or past Alamo.
Just past.
Just past Alamo till you hit 375. Take a left on 375, follow the mile markers. You're going to go quite a ways till you hit mile marker 29. Then when you hit 29 and a half, between the mile markers 29 and 30 or 29 and 28, I can't remember which way it goes out there in the desert. But at 29 and a half mile marker, you will, well, it would be to 30 then. At the 29 and a half mile marker, I don't believe the post office, the giant black mailbox is there anymore.
No, I've heard that recently they've torn it down.
Sure, but you will see some of the best dirt roads ever made out in the middle of nowhere that you will see, and you will be seeing, if you're recording this program, you will be saying, you will be seeing the mountain range in this valley, in this bowl that we've been showing on this program, that valley range, and you will see the mountains. And if you do any very little investigation dealing with Area 51, you will be able to, or if you'd like to write to this program, we can make available a map and some photo pictures if you're still interested in going out there. How about that, Dave?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Why don't we tell them why that particular spot is so interesting? It's like you said, the Groom Mountains are like a huge bowl which surround Area S4 and hide it from view. The Mailbox Road is the one place where the mountains lower down and actually flatten out to make one little crack open and available for the public to see down, which is why they're confiscating land and going to make it illegal for people to go there shortly.
Yeah, why is that that people can't enter that?
Well, when they confiscated the land, there was a congressional hearing, or a Senate hearing, as I recall, and one of the senators asked him, well, by whose authority did you take this land? And he said, well, I can only answer that in private session, but it was an authority higher than the president. So I guess you'd have to go to closed session to find out whose authority they're doing this under.
Okay, I just have one real quick question.
Sure.
Do you know anything about the east side of Mount Shasta, about the Lemurians? Do you hear anything about that?
I have heard stories about Mount Shasta dating back 5 or 6 years, stating that there's all kinds of stories about Mount Shasta, the elders of Mount Shasta, stating that there's it's a UFO base, things like that. Hello, David, are you still there? Okay, I guess we lost that caller. Mount Shasta has come up many times.
A lot of sightings been seen there, but as far as stories as what's going on, it's all undocumented and unsubstantiated as far as I'm concerned.
Do we have another caller at 667-7434?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, it's Tim. How you doing this year?
Great. Is this Tim?
Yes.
Hello, Tim. Welcome to the Cosmic Connection.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy with the horses this winter, and I just haven't been out much camping. I was wondering if there's been any recent reporting sightings or anything like that going on.
Tim, are you a gentleman who has called the program before stating that you have camped out on a certain mountain?
Yes.
Did you see the beginning of the show?
Yes, just the first few minutes of it, and I've been sitting around the corner on my phone since. So
Okay,
I
Yolanda spoke of a goat mountain, and I believe you are the one that brought it to our attention. I don't know if we should bring this up yet or not. I would elect that to you since you're the one who brought it to my attention of a place of where you go camping, Tim.
Uh-huh.
Well, would you, why don't you tell us, instead of the location, why don't you tell us what you've seen, sir?
Well, just basically round bright lights traveling north and south. You know, you stare up and you kind of spot them moving, and they just go all the way out to the horizon. There was one that took off north at one point one evening, and it pulsed a few times, seemed to accelerate.
Pulsed.
And yeah, it got brighter, dimmer, brighter a couple of times, and then it just, you know, took off real fast, disappeared.
Yes.
And that's about the only one really out of the ordinary that I've seen up there, other than ones just heading north or south.
Tim, I would very much would enjoy if you called after the program. I'd like to get in touch with you and share some of the stuff that we have with you and compare notes.
Oh, you want me to call back afterwards?
Please, I really wish you would. In fact, Dennis and I were just talking about you several days ago.
All right, we still got a camping trip planned too then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll call you back.
Thank you very much, Tim. Tim, anything else?
I think
we lost him. All right. Dennis,
but I think we definitely have a few camping trips to a couple of different locations in mind for this summer, but I don't want to go too much more into that.
I understand that, and the people out there, you know, I can see them say, well, come on, Cosmo, you know, you're holding back. Of course we're holding back. We don't want to say go to this place and then have people call us up and say, well, we didn't see anything. Right. And that's what happened out at Area 51. I mean, you go out there and you'd get skunked. Pardon the pun for the skunk works.
Sure. That's why we wait till we come back with the goods and show it.
And hopefully we'll have some video footage. Next caller, please. Welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, pal?
I've been watching your show, and I got a few,
What's your name, my friend?
Hello?
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Bill.
Hi, Bill. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my house.
And why the disguise of the voice? Are you a personality here in Portland that we might know?
No.
Okay.
I'm calling because, you know, I don't know about the UFO thing. I don't know if it's totally true.
All right.
I think that you guys should, you know, maybe get together and get recommended like a mayor or a governor or a president. and then he runs and he wins, and then he can get all the stuff out about the UFOs.
Well, there's a Congressman Schiff who's working towards that capacity out of New Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Because, I mean, people should know about these things. And do you think people have actually met aliens?
There has been stories of that, yes. If you read any of the books or watch any particular interviews on the sightings or encounter programs, there are just too many people out there stating the same stories who have no way of knowing one another. And this phenomenon goes back many, many, many years.
Yeah, and there's a lady down the street. She always kept saying that the UFO abducted her and put a probe in her, and they had lasers.
Sure.
People like that make it don't sound real.
They don't make it sound real?
They make it sound not real.
Uh-huh.
Because, they don't have no
How many
lasers.
books have you read on the subject? Have you read on the subject?
Yeah, I've read that Roswell book with the women on it.
All right.
The one with the guy and the woman.
Sure.
That was a couple years ago in the library. I checked it out and just read it.
Right.
And I've read a few other stories, and I read the movie E.T., and that's where my limit of expertise goes.
Sure.
Well, but he does bring up a good point.
Yes.
Abduction encounters, as reported, do have a high strangeness factor and sound unbelievable.
Well, there's nothing conventional about it.
Right, and the people that happen to agree and say it was unbelievable, but nonetheless, this is what happened.
Well, Bill, thank you for the call. I think... Sure.
I saw that picture photograph for you.
Oh, we lost him. All right. Bill, thank you very much. If you'd like to call after the program, we can continue. If you had something else, or you can call in 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, February 12th at 6 p.m. here on the CAN network. Sunday, that'll be in 2 weeks, February 12th at 6 p.m. on the CAN network. The Cosmic Connection will be back, and this program will repeat in the Gresham area on Channel 21. And look in your local television host or cable access guides. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Connection. Hello. Next caller, please.
Oh, this is like custom.
We have any more callers out there? Hi. Hello.
Yeah, hi there. I've been watching this for a little bit while, and one of the things I noticed that is kind of wrong with all these conspiracy deals, or it kind of makes it look bad, is that, first of all these writers seem to be like professional writers out to make money.
Absolutely.
And like Whitney Strieber, for example, was writing werewolf books before he got into UFOs.
And your name?
Huh?
Your name?
Oh, John.
John. Okay, John, you bring up a great point. Continue. I don't mind this discussion at all.
Okay, and then it's kind of funny that
you've hit it right on the nail.
all the main books, like Roswell and all these things, these one or two little incidents gets brought up for 50 or 60 books. And so the real material is getting buried, not by the government, but by the publishers and the people that are trying to, bring this UFO stuff about. Because like a couple years ago, there was a thing in Portland that I would say was bigger than Roswell. We had the Barnes Road incident.
No, I do not recall that. Please elaborate on that. What is that?
There was this thing over Barnes Road a couple years ago, and sometimes these things make it into the paper. Sometimes it just wakes a bunch of neighbors up, and then sometimes it doesn't make it into the paper. And but from an Oregonian's point of view, we see these places down in the South, and especially Las Vegas. There's always shows about Area 51, and there's shows about Las Vegas, and we see these things, and whenever you see a video, it's just a light cruising fast in the air. Never do we see any machinery, never do we see an actual flying device, and from an Oregonian's point of view, how can we bring it all home, and what is something that somebody has something to show us here?
Well, I have shown pictures of craft on this program. Let's talk about Mexico City.
Right.
The hyper jump that we've shown on this program. There is definitely a craft there that is manipulating the air and the atmosphere around it. You're seeing such like heat waves, a disturbance in the air against a blue background during the eclipse in Mexico City. We're doing
what about the daylight Roswell sightings that are going on right as we speak? A caller to Art Bell's program just last week said, we're continuing to see them day by day. Come on down, bring a camera.
Yes.
Well, they just keep going in these same areas, but yet, like we see stuff here, and there's no books on it. There's no, let's see, in 1978, there was I guess from the old books, they used to call it the cigar-shaped thing, but it was something I've seen from Vancouver, BC, all the way down to California, and I happened to be a kid at the time. We saw this thing. We just thought it was a car with bright lights up on the hill, and then all of a sudden it went over the hill. And this thing was huge, and we saw police cars scrambling in the area.
Excellent.
You know, and
John, please elaborate on from British Columbia down.
Yeah, down to somewhere in Southern California. It was seen all along the Pacific coast.
Yeah.
And it was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a big, you know, it looked like a building tipped on its side, just moving through the air.
Yeah.
And within minutes, we were kids drinking beer, and we had to scramble because there's police cars all over.
I've heard many stories about people partying out in Portland areas or fishing or on camping trips. Whatever they're doing, people are out there. People are looking into the air, looking at constellations, and seeing craft. And it's very very enlightening that people bring up. Now, I just want to bring up this thing. There is supposedly a corridor from Washington down through Oregon into the Nevada area. I understand that ships have been seeing. I keep saying we're working on this. The Cosmic Connection is not a major organization, okay? So we have to deal with what we have by people like you out there who get in touch with us, who help assist us in whatever investigation that this program. I have great plans for this program in the future, and what we're doing right now is just so fantastic and really nice that you people out there take time to write, participate, and call and give us your help. I've met many wonderful people
well,
through this program.
He brings up a good point there.
Go ahead, Dennis.
About how there's been so much action up here in the Northwest, Portland and Mount Hood in particular, for the last 45 years. It's been a hot spot. Every couple of years, a major flap, and it gets reported in our newspapers and on TV, but he's right, nobody has.
Well, you can tell from that picture, those are old, but let me just finish off real quick. I'd like to see anybody watching this show to get some pictures of real machinery versus some fancy little lights, because all of us who've done photography know that anything can be tricked, forged, and there's a lot of people who just want to make a cheap name for themselves.
Sure.
And we'd like to see, real machinery, because if the government is really the conspirator, how come just a plain old Joe really can't come down and show, hey, this is something real?
Well, the analogy that I've heard is UFO people who take pictures of UFOs or UFO investigators are some of the worst photographers in the world.
Yeah, but what I mean is I don't see a truck driver loading one of these things on the back of his truck and then driving it through a parade downtown.
Right.
And that's, the plain old Joe is getting ripped off by these UFO professionals. And it's just like the psychic professionals. There are people, that can do this stuff, and then there's the rest of million-dollar moneymakers who are going to charade everybody, including the professionals.
I totally agree with you.
I probably should let you go and let the next person get on.
John, I want to thank you very much. You're kind, and please write to us. And
I got your number there.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, John.
I got a quick comment.
All right, we got 6 minutes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He brings up a good point, and that's one of the reasons we do this show, is to try and separate the baloney from the real stuff, because part of it is disinformation put out by the government, obviously, to cover up the real information, and the rest of it, the public, or not the public, these charlatans help out the government cover-up by putting out false information and just trying to make money off of it. And there is a ton of it out there, so that's why we try and help out here on the Cosmic Connection. Real quickly, I'd also like to mention the Mountain BBS.
Yes, please, let's do that. The Mountain BBS. Go ahead.
People can contact us at 771-9008. And
there it is on your screen.
I've been astounded by the amount of people that have called in and the level of their education and what a great system they're turning it into. There are pictures from NASA Clementine that have been uploaded, and it's really been a great group effort with just the members calling in, uploading great information, and some good things are going to come out of it, which I don't want to go into right now.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up. I want to thank my director, Paul Richmond. Paul, if you want to tell us, I have the Portlandian here camera. This is a publication. Paul, are you the author of this? All right, and Paul, when's your next program, Tuesday at 4 p.m. on Channel 11. Caller, we'll have to talk to you after the program. That's Soren, ladies and gentlemen, is going to take us out of here. I want to let you know if you'd like to call and get a tape here of Bad Karma. I've got one to give away. We'll mail that to anyone out there who's interested in Transient Madness, Bad Karma music. Bad Karma is going to be playing at the Boring Tavern. Be there February 3rd and February 4th. That's Bad Karma. Want to thank Diamond Edge. Diamond Edge will be playing at the Moosehead February